Welcome to the Emerald Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Doyle, and on this podcast I speak to different Irish athletes about their highs, their lows, biggest battles, biggest successes, and why they fell in love with their sport. In this episode I talk to Aoibheann Malone. Aoibheann chats about playing for the Celts here in Dubai, her experience playing for Clare in both hurling and football, her home club Corofin, and how camogie and ladies football has progressed over the years. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, a video won't be present for this episode. Everything will turn to normal for the next episode next week. Without further ado, Aoibheann Malone. Aoibheann, how are you? You're very welcome to the podcast.
Hi Chrissy, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Not a bother at all. I'm in flying form. I'd say you were in flying form after last weekend with the Celts winning.
Yeah, we were, to be fair. It was unreal. We won by 2 points, I think, in the final. As you know, our teams are split, so we're actually playing our own team in the final, which is kind of weird, but it was good to come out on top. Although, after the final whistle, you don't want to be jumping around celebrating because you're playing against your own girls, but yeah, no, it was good now to win. There's nothing between the two teams at all, or really any of the teams in the senior camogie out here, but yeah, it was good to win.
Yeah, and it's great to see the two teams get to the final, because obviously you're very strong as well if both teams are getting to the final, so it's a good sense of achievement for the club even in general, which is great. How have you found playing out here compared to home and stuff?
Yeah, I love it now, to be fair. I think if I was playing anything after the last 2 years I had, I think I'd be delighted. So I'm really just grateful to be back playing. It was 2 years since I've played a match. And even coming out here there in August, I wasn't even sure I'd be playing. I really did think I'd have to go on goals for the year. But I just went to a few trainings, and to be fair, Stevie and Jack are the managers, and they're so accommodating. They're like, just do what you want. And I kind of eased myself back into it. And it just happened to be kind of the week before the first tournament. I kind of was doing a bit of contact and training and stuff, and then got back playing for the first tournament. Obviously still very nervous, but all going well so far, and I played last weekend as well, so that's all I really wanted. So yeah, I'm delighted to be playing, and it's a great way to meet people, as you know, out here. So yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, unreal. No, it's great that, because 2 years is a long time just to get back playing. I'd say that alone, you're just delighted to be back on the pitch and playing a bit. And what would you say is the biggest difference, let's say from the game at home, let's say with camogie and playing out here? Do you find it faster, or what's the kind of the biggest difference?
Yeah, 100%. The standard is so high. I didn't think it would be coming out here. I didn't really know what to expect. The standard is unreal. Everybody playing is just as good as the next person. So the whole subbing on, subbing off thing is really beneficial when you've such a strong panel. Whereas I suppose at home at camogie, different clubs would be kind of relying on different players to do a job. Whereas here it's really all the whole team. Taking a while to get used to the subs and the positions and stuff. It is quite different. You're kind of just running everywhere. Unless you're a full forward or a full back, you're kind of free to go anywhere, which is just trying to get off as soon as you can then for the next person to come on with the heat. So yeah, it is quite different, but it's good.
Yeah, it's a good change. And I even find just playing myself out here, the crack is good. And I even see that with the camogie and ladies team as well. There's a good overall social buzz, because obviously the GA is big at home, but even the social connection and stuff out here with playing is great too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unreal. And I really did miss that last year. So I was out here for a year last year and I didn't play at all, which was really, really hard to meet people that way as well. As you know, probably every Irish person's social environment out here is through GA, or people they met through GA. So it's really, really good to get in with a team like the Celts, and all the girls are so sound, and you know, the trainings are good crack. They're still high intensity, but we have fun, and you know, there's no major like seriousness around it. You know, it's quite laid back at the same time, and go enjoy your weekends and stuff. So it's best of both worlds, I think.
Yeah, and it actually reminds me of what the GA at home used to be like, where it wasn't taken as let's say it's serious. You had your social banter or whatever. You could go out and you could play, and you kind of the best of both worlds. But I'm glad that's what's like out here, you know.
I know, and when you're training here as well, you're maybe only doing max 3 weeks of training, and then you've another tournament to look forward to. It's not like you're like at home there. Our championship will be starting in October or like end of September sometimes. Like you're basically just playing during the winter and training in the summer for nothing. Basically, you're just waiting to play championship for months. So it is nice to be playing matches all the time out here.
Yeah, I don't miss walking out onto a pitch where it's lashing raining, or you know, I'm contemplating gloves because it's just it's so cold and stuff. Yeah, I don't miss that at all.
No.
And
spoiled.
Yeah, spoiled is right. Aoibheann, I want to take you back, just your home club at home, Corofin, that you go playing with. What's, I suppose, your memories of growing up playing with Corofin? A special club, I suppose, for yourself?
Yeah, love Corofin clubs, still do. Still playing, or would have been playing with still most of the same girls now if I was at home. Growing up playing with them, we actually wouldn't have had the strongest camogie team. I started playing camogie when I was under 14.
Okay.
We didn't have camogie clubs, so I played with the boys, and I think it was under 14 was when I properly started playing, but I was like 12. So I played with the boys up until under 14, until I wasn't allowed to play with them anymore.
Right.
And I played football with the boys as well. Like I remember, I was 10, I remember, and I was going to under 10 boys football training, and I remember it so well, and there was an under 16 camogie match on up in the top pitch at Corofin, and they were stuck for players. Like Corofin's a small place, we wouldn't have had like massive club or anything, and they asked me to play, so I ran up and played the under 16 camogie game at the time.
Oh my!
And like, you know, this was kind of like, it was just, but I'm glad it was a, you know, it's a small club, and we started from very little. And to be fair, growing up then, I think we were under 16B. We won a few things. We competed at minor A then. Then when we went on to the junior, we won junior B and junior A. Then we struggled a lot at intermediate. Like we just have let's say my age group of girls are very lucky. We all kind of stuck together. There isn't as many older girls or as many younger girls. There was kind of a gap, like there is in every kind of camogie club, just with numbers. So our actual group, we're very lucky, stuck together and are committed, and they're still playing at home. But we kind of struggled a bit then at adult level, just for numbers and things like that. But overall, very positive experience playing with Corofin.
Yeah, amazing. Like 10 years old to go up and play under 16. I mean, I've never heard of that before, ever.
I know, but it's like, it was the same then with ladies football. So we don't have a football. Well, there is now. This was the first year there was an adult football team in Corofin. Literally 2020. I played with a team in Ennis called the Banner Ladies. So it was the same with that club. We were playing miles above our age groups. Like I think my first senior game was 14 or 15, football match with the Banner. We all kind of started quite young and playing age groups up. Just mainly the numbers, like, you know, you wouldn't have as many girls. So played football with the Banner Corofin boys, but I've never played football with Corofin, so maybe now when I go home I'll have to put in the transfer papers to Corofin.
Yeah, to play a bit when you go home. But that's just amazing. I find that remarkable that it just seems in the women's game, I don't know whether it's progressed as much as I probably like it to be in that terms of that, but the fact that you could be so young playing in such a higher grade, it's never something I ever seen even growing up for like the men or the boys. I've never heard of a boy going so high up, but it just seemed to be so common, for girls having to play so high above their grade.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, to be honest. Like, I obviously never really minded, but I do remember my parents being like, what age group is this now you're going to? And like, just be like, no, it's minor. And I'd be going off to a senior game.
Of all things for your parents to be wondering, like, you're going out the door, usually to be happy that you be playing, like, they're checking in to see what age group are you playing today,
Yeah. Could have been doing worse.
Yeah, could have been doing a lot worse. And how do you feel, I suppose, on that? Because I suppose you loved, those experiences and getting to play, and definitely for, I'd say, your career, it's definitely stood to you as well. How do you feel, I suppose, the female game has progressed? Do you see any things where you're like, it's come a long way and I'm delighted to see that? Or is there anything you think, could be done maybe to help women more for opportunities, I suppose, in participating?
Even in the last 10 years, the difference in the progression in female sport is crazy in the GAA. Like, the WGPA have really gotten behind ladies football and camogie and have had huge funding brought into the county setups in particular. Like, just even small things like physios, things you would think we would get for granted as a county team or something, we wouldn't have had. Whereas now in the last few years, like physio, sports psychologists, nutritionists, all that are included because there's money towards it from the WGPA, so that is great. Now, look, I don't want to be talking about the negatives, but like there's obviously still a huge gap between ladies sports and men's, but no, it is definitely positive. It is going in the right direction. Like for ladies football, Lidl is a sponsor, which is massive sponsor to get, and they're doing great things for their promotion of it and for funding and stuff. So just things like that are really, really good and positive. And I think the more girls that keep playing and younger girls that keep playing, the better. So these sort of incentives are great for them.
Yeah, and I always see the little lad, but especially when I'm home now, you'd always see the little lad on the television, which is great because, if you see it that often, then the message is getting out there and getting across, which is great.
Yeah. And even at home now, the late senior ladies football final was on there 2 weeks ago, and it was on in the county grounds for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our club, the Banner, we've won 13 out of the last 15 senior county finals.
Unbelievable.
And this match 2 weeks ago, the first final they didn't get in ever, I'd say. And it was on in Cusack Park, which is great. So just a guarantee that the senior ladies football final will be in Cusack Park for the next however many years. Because, we used to play all those finals to be back in West Clare somewhere like 2 o'clock on a Sunday, sure nobody would be at it. It was a double header with the men's final this year. So even something like that, that's huge for ladies sport, getting to play there. Should always have been the case, obviously, but
yeah, I'm very surprised, like, hearing that you're telling me it's only in Cusack Park this year. Like, I just would have been, I suppose, feel normal for me that it would have been there every year. How can you say it's important or of value if it's not in the county grounds, the final, really? For adult, it's just, ridiculous. I
know. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, that's just one thing off the top of my head I've thought of. like that's obviously positive, but there's still a huge difference obviously between men's and women's, but look, we take the little things as positives. So
yeah, but at the same time, if men have been getting all this high quality coaching and funding for a long time, you can't expect, for it just to start with women's sport and then for it to catch up. I think if more coaching, funding and opportunities and more women play, the game is going to become more entertaining and like more people will watch it and go to it. And I think that's something, worth going for. I think that's a great progress. Yeah,
and especially I think getting the coaching in at younger age groups, like, it is most important. If you get girls committed and like coached well from when they're whatever under 12, under 14 kind of setups, like there will be a huge improvement in numbers wise of girls playing when they're older and of skill levels and stuff. So yeah, the funding, if it goes into even the younger age groups coaches, that would be great as well.
Yeah, I think it'd be fantastic, and I think it's great it has progressed, and as you were saying there as well, I just think just keep the progression going, keep the funding, and just go as best as it can.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring you on to the next point. I know you've played hurling for both Clare and football for Clare as well. I suppose talk to me about that experience, because obviously it's an honour to represent your county at any level, I suppose.
Yeah, so just even thinking back on it here, like it was nearly normal to be playing with Clare, just because I think a lot of it would have been from the school I went to. Like most of the girls around me at school were also playing on the Clare team, which I now realise was not obviously the norm. But like under 14, under 16, minor, a few of us obviously then just went on and played with the seniors. So it's the same group of girls I've been playing with, but we were all in the same school, and kind of it was just normal that we were all playing. So I think a lot of it came from school. Like if your friends are playing and you don't really see it as like an extra team to be going playing with, like you're still just playing with the same people, going to Clare training. Obviously it's an honour to be asked to play, but I think we were just so used to playing together with between clubs, schools, then playing with Clare, that it was just part of like every day. We just were like, yeah, like, it was just normal at the time. But obviously we were playing a lot of different codes and age groups. Like in Leaving Cert, we were playing minor and senior with Clare, with Camogie anyway. And then football probably played maybe the year after Leaving Cert with Clare. But yeah, it was the same group of girls. Like on our Camogie team in school, our football team in school, I think maybe out of the 15 starting team, there was probably like 12 or 13 at the time on the Clare minor team.
Wow, that's a lot.
So like we were just always training together. That's kind of like when I was thinking about it today, I was like, we didn't really think anything of it, we were just always training together, the same people, just was a few different teams.
Yeah, and just can I ask you as well, because so you were playing Camogie with Clare minors, and then senior as well, and were you doing the same then for minor and senior with Clare football at the same time?
No, I don't think I was. I'd say that was probably maybe the following year, just did footballs. I don't know, I don't think we did both when we were that age group, okay. No. Cause that would have been just too much. But again, like I was saying earlier, the age groups, and like it was just the norm that you played a few ages up and stuff,
You just just played up. I just thought to myself when you were saying that the football and the hurling for Clare, I was just saying the demands were so high if you had to do all those. It definitely, even player welfare, you would have been thinking, oh my goodness, you could not play all of those. So I was glad when you said it was just camogie and football the following year, because that would have been crazy, obviously.
Yeah, but like it would be kind of the same kind of management there'd be a few the same management involved in the minors and the seniors and stuff. So you'd kind of, we would never been overtrained or anything. It was just like, and that year as well, we wouldn't have really been playing. Like we would have just kind of went to a few trainings and stuff, and it kind of been introduced to the panel, like just to kind of get a feel for it. But I remember actually at the time we went to one or two trainings, and our teachers in school were actually on the camogie team. Like at the time, two of our camogie trainers in school were our teachers, and they were playing with Clare at the time. And about 3 or 4 of us rocked up to Clare training one weekend. It was mad playing with them then.
Oh yeah, how did that go down? Was it awkward for you? Did they ever tell you that they felt awkward, or was it grand?
I don't know. It was grand, I'd say. That was only a few trainings that year when we were in school. I don't think we played much really. I didn't anyway. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good just to get introduced to it from a young age. I think that is the right way to do it. Kind of bring them in young. The more experience you have, then the better.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go too. And just when you were saying there's the same same girls on each team, you must became very tight knit together and really good friends as a group. And it surely definitely helped you in games as well, because you just knew each other so well, I'd say.
Yeah. Now we were different clubs, but yeah, we would have been best friends. And our Flannan's camogie team would have been very successful. And football, we actually got to the All-Ireland Senior A final that year in school. We lost by, I think, a point or two.
No.
Still not over it. We should have won. So we won 2 Munster finals, Senior A Munster finals, 2 in a row. So it's kind of the exact same group of players both years. And we would have won one in football as well. Slightly different year, different group of players, but a lot of the same players. So we had a very successful school team, which I do think I could have nearly even stopped playing going into college or after school if it was a different setup, just because we played so much in school with so many different teams, so many different levels. We were doing 7-a-side, junior team, senior team. But yeah, it was all down to really our teachers. They were really, really good, kept us all together. And then when we all went to different colleges and stuff, we all kept playing as well there. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and I'd forget even sometimes to ask about college and school, because they're special in some ways too. And those Munster titles or Leinster with schools competitions, they're very difficult to win. Because you are travelling from school, you're with different people, there's so many different factors. So that was unreal to win that as well.
Yeah, I would say school was part of my sporting career, definitely.
Yeah, no, very, very, very special to do it with friends as well. And obviously we're very strong when they were that solid group of girls is also playing with Clare too,
Getting classes off to go to matches. We used to miss so much school. So much school. We'd constantly be gone.
But you know what? You turn out okay for it too. With all you miss, you still get on with it, and you do your exams, and you get to go off to your matches too, and you enjoy it. It's all part of it.
Yeah. Crack.
Aoibheann, tell me this: was there any, I suppose, camogie player, ladies football player, or any male player or player in general that you might have looked up to and looked at growing up that you really thought well of, or said that kind of inspired you to play more?
Yeah, I would say I personally would have been players on my team. Just few come to mind on my football team. So, like I was saying, we played with the senior team when we were quite young, like under 14, under 16. So the older girls on the team who are still playing now, Louise Henchy, Niamh Keane, they were playing with Clare at the time. Like absolute legends, as well as being unbelievable footballers. Just the way they'd bring you into the club and make you feel welcome and everything. They're definitely people I looked up to. And like I don't remember anyway ever really sitting down watching a ladies match on telly. Like I don't know if it was because Clare wouldn't have really been in the All-Ireland finals then, or if they just weren't on telly as much. So I wouldn't have really been exposed to too many county stars outside of Clare or outside my own club. Obviously I would have known the hurlers, and that would have been mainly because of like my brothers and my dad, just listening to them and watching matches with them. But yeah, it's mad. I probably didn't have anybody outside of who I played with, which is, I think, is a good thing as well, because those girls actually, they're genuinely are still like my idols. I still look up to them. They're unreal. So, and the teachers in school as well, I remember idolising them too, thinking, you know, they were like unbelievable trainers and unbelievable players. We had, do you know Gary Byrne, the Clare footballer?
Yeah, I know Gary Byrne, yeah.
Gary, yeah, he was our football trainer in school.
Excellent.
So, like, you know, the likes of him training you is unreal.
Yeah, no, and you know what, there is something special because lots of people don't get to play with the people that they looked up to. So the fact that who you pick as your idols are either people that have trained you or you've actually got onto the pitch to play with them, there's something, I suppose, very special about that, because for a lot of us, that's not the case. We just watched them on TV. So the fact that everyone you kind of picked, you actually got to play with is really, really nice.
Yeah, no, it is, yeah.
Aoibheann, it's been a great chat. It's great to hear about your whole career, playing with the Celts now, Corofin, your journey to play with Clare as well. It's been very insightful. Thanks very much for coming on to the podcast, and I wish you all the luck with the Celts. I'll surely see you playing a bit now soon again, and I hope you win a few more tournaments.
Alright, thanks for having me, Chrissy.
Thanks for listening to the Emerald Athlete podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a review, and don't forget to check out our Instagram page, the Emerald Athlete Podcast.